so much for joining us today on Promising Me Unleashed at Home. I'm excited to have with us our guest, Dr. Shana Dicks. She is the proud founder, CEO, and executive of Simple Miracles here in Bowie, Maryland. Dr. Dicks, thank you so much for joining us on Promising Me Unleashed at Home.
And thank you for having me.
Yes, and welcome to my home.
It's so beautiful.
Well, listen, I am so glad to have you here. I think what we need to do is just dispel the myths about dental care and dental health. But before we even get into that, please share just a little bit more about yourself, your upbringing, and we can talk a little bit more about why and how you got into dental health.
Okay.
What that motivation was.
Okay. Well, a little bit about me. I am the youngest of three. I have a brother and a sister. I'm a military child. My dad was in the Marines. And I don't know, I have a Southern roots. My mom, I was born in South Carolina. My mom and my dad, they're both from South Carolina. So we moved up here. We came back and forth here so many times. So this is just kind of like home. So we've always been in DC, Maryland area for the most part.
Awesome.
Yep. And so my first dental appointment, I was about 3. We were living in Monterey, California. And I think my mom said it was from that point, like, that I always just wanted to be a dentist. I used to enjoy going to the dentist always, and I would help with my brother and sister. And the dentist would always let me, like, you know, jump in. Well, not really jump in, but you get what I mean. So I guess from that point, I just always wanted to be a dentist. And so here we are.
Wow. Did you ever intern there?
Oh, no, because we were there I was 3, I think, by that time. By 5, we were here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's interesting how that passion stayed with you.
Yeah. So when I graduated from dental school, it was interesting. My mom actually reached out to that dentist, and he wrote like a letter and stuff, and she gave it to me as like part of my gift, because she has like the picture from the first dental appointment. It's like a little Polaroid. So it was cute. It was cute.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
And that's interesting how your mom probably saw something in you then that you may not have really realized yourself, you know. But that's great. That's great. Well, listen, thinking about that, so what path did you take from there? You know, high school, college, what was your path like?
So I guess it wasn't necessarily the traditional path. It wasn't like, so, you know, high school, I graduated high school. I went to Largo. I graduated in 2002, and then I went to North Carolina A&T State University.
Okay, give a shout out.
Aggie Pride. Where I got a bachelor's in chemistry. And at that time, I think I didn't really understand, like the process of like how to go to dental school. I think I knew it, but I didn't realize that I didn't have as much time as I thought. I'm in a sorority, so I crossed in 2005, and so I was going into my senior year, and I think I just like had too much fun, and so I didn't study for the test and everything the way that I probably should have. I'm actually a horrible test taker, I must say. So I can't just jump in and take a test and just plan on acing it. I really have to like dedicate some time to it. So I applied, but I applied with mediocre scores, and my grades have always been good, like, you know, honor roll. But I was kind of like on the mediocre path of things. So I didn't get in my first go round. So I sat out a year, but I just didn't want to be complacent, and I didn't want to get comfortable just like not being in school, but trying to up the ante on my application process and all the things to make myself a strong candidate. So I went and got a master's at North Carolina A&T too. So because I was still down there. So I have a master's in chemistry and a bachelor's in chemistry. Wow. And so I applied again. Well, first time I applied, I got waitlisted. Second time, I got waitlisted again, actually. Okay. But it's a testimony. It's an interesting story. I always like to say it because I think that people need to know that you really, whatever you're destined to do, it's gonna happen, no matter like how it happens. It's not really about how it's not about when.
Right.
It's just, y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So anyway, it's not about like how it happens. It's about when it happens.
Yes.
So if it's supposed to be for you, it's supposed to be for you.
Yes.
So I remember I was like a week out of graduating with my master's, and I was on the waiting list, and one of my big sisters, she basically messaged me and was like, hey, I was just talking to my dad. Her dad is a dentist. She's from San Jose. And she was like, he was like, what's going on with you in dental school? So I was like, well, I'm on the waiting list. And so he was actually at a conference with the dean of Howard at the time.
Wow.
And he was like, she was like, he said, send over your resume, and he'll write you like a little letter, because he just been chatting up with Dean Rouse. So I was like, all right. So I sent over the letter, and he did something, and all I know is like a couple days later, I got a phone call, and they were like, hey, can you be here on Monday? Mind you, I'm still in Greensboro. It was like Thursday, like seriously, like no joke. And so I was still in Greensboro. I was working at a call center for UPS, and I literally hadn't packed up anything. But I did know that I was coming back to Maryland. Like all I knew is that I was going to be leaving soon. I just didn't know when. And so I called a couple folks, packed my house up, had somebody drive the U-Haul while I drove my car, and I started a summer program at Howard. Howard had this program called PARP. So it was like for waitlisted med and dental students, and you did this program for like 6 weeks. And if you did well in the program, then you basically started the following. So, yeah.
And you started. And that just shows your perseverance and divine connections.
Yeah, it shows that God is real.
Yes, He is.
Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it as long as you have faith.
Yep. And you had that faith.
Yes.
And so you finished at Howard.
Yes, and that was struggle too, but I got
there.
Listen.
Life
so
is
many
a struggle.
Testimonies.
Life is a struggle.
So many testimonies.
Like miracles after miracles after miracles. Yes. Well, that's why I wanted to ask you about the name of your dental office. It's called Simple Miracles.
Yeah.
What was the motivation behind that name?
Well, I mean, now that you put it that way, I came up with Simple Miracles, the name, in 2007. I used it as part of my application letter of interest. And I actually came up with it because back then, that was like when, y'all know how Cam Newton, I don't know if you know, but he used to always write like uppercase, lowercase letters, right? And so people would do it. And I did it originally, it was supposed to be uppercase, lowercase, because it's spell smile inside of it. So it was Simple Miracles, but it was supposed to spell smile. But of course, that's just a little bit too much. It wasn't going to be cute. So, but back then that was really the thought process. It wasn't anything too deep. It was just that. But then as time goes on and you realize that, like, in a sense, we're miracle workers. Like, we're artists,
right? By
nature. Like, if you're good, like, that's what you're doing. Dentistry is art. But you can really come in for something like so simple and come out looking like so different. Yes. So it's literally like a miracle, and that was really just it.
And listen, that might have been your story.
Yeah,
but you worked a miracle for me. We'll talk about that later. But that's really good. So, let's talk about dental health. Because I don't think people really understand how closely dental health is tied to your physical health.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute. Because there's so many myths. People think, okay, here's my medical, my physical body. I'm going to go to my doctor to see, for my blood pressure check and, blood work and all that good stuff. And we see dental as something over here.
Yeah.
Right.
But they say it's not related, right?
Yeah.
But it is. There's so many different ways that it's related, in a sense. Like, we can start with you can identify certain medical issues in the mouth. Like, that's what their oral cancer screenings are for. You look at the inflammation, gum inflammation, ulcers, all those things. Like, sometimes those are indications of things bigger than just your tooth health in itself, right? So I remember first getting started, I had this patient, and he had like right in the front on the bottom, he had a heavy inflammation, and he had a few ulcers and everything. And I didn't know what was going on because he was just there like a week before and everything was fine. But he was in a lot of pain. Nothing was shown on the x-ray. So a couple weeks later, he returns, and he had just gone to his primary care, and he got some blood work done, and he found out that he was HIV positive.
Wow.
So in a sense, that was just an indication. Him coming to me referring him to his primary care was just his way of getting to the doctor to figure out like, okay, so this is like more serious than just, he thought his tooth, it was nothing wrong with his teeth. His teeth were perfectly healthy. But that was an indication that there was something bigger, because we have arteries, blood cells, veins, everything. The whole body is connected. Right. So it's going to show here sometimes versus somewhere else. So that's one thing. Another thing is people hiding their medical history from the dentist, not thinking that it's important. But if you need certain work done, there's contraindications to some things. So if you don't dispel everything that's going on, then we're not going to know how to take it. Now, this may be a tad bit controversial, but just to bring up, there was a little child who just recently passed away, and they have arrested the dental provider, right, because of her death, and they say that it's negligence, and they're putting it down as criminal. Now, although we don't have all the facts out and all the things, but there's rumors that this little girl had history of, I don't know, like seizures or something. There's some sort of situation that she may have had, like underlying health issue that wasn't put forth on her medical records. And that could have affected her being under sedation. And that could have also been a reason for what happened. Right. I'm not saying that it was. Right. I'm just saying that those things all come into play. But if the doctor doesn't know, there's times when patients come in, they're autistic or they have any other disability. It's never on the paperwork. Wow. And how do I ask without being rude, right? Right. But I have to ask because I know that something may not be right with this person. But I don't want to speculate. I don't want to be offensive, but also I still need to cover myself. So I think that it's very important that we're honest with our medical issues. If you're pregnant, you're pregnant. Right. Tell us. Right. Because if you're pregnant, I can't give you certain things. Right.
And if you have cancer, I need to tell you.
So if you look a little chubby, I might have to ask just in case, are you pregnant? But it could be offensive. Right. However, sometimes we have to take that. Like I just have to take that negativity if I have to, because I need to make sure that I'm covering myself. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I'm glad that you're bringing that point out. I think in many cases, people are fearful. They have that dental phobia. Sometimes, when we were coming up, of course, our parents had us in the dentist, I guess every 6 months or once a year. But many times there's this phobia that develops over time where people are afraid to come to the dentist. I don't know. Maybe some of them are afraid to even go to their medical doctor unless there's a problem. But how can we help people kind of get over that dental phobia?
I don't know. You might need to let me know. I don't know. I think that, I don't know. Sometimes you just have to do the hard things. Like, I think people don't understand that you're not going to us because you think it's going to hurt. But when you're in pain, you still got to go through it. Like, you don't want to get the tooth pulled because you don't want to get numb. But eventually, one day, you're still going to have to get the tooth pulled. Right. So you just have to just be able to, like, just do the hard things. Like, nobody wants to do the hard things. Nobody wants to have the hard conversations. Nobody wants to, they don't want to, I don't know. People just have a fear of doing things, but you end up always having to do it. And once you do it, it's not as bad as you think. And some people are just in denial. Like, there are a lot of people that don't go to the doctor, any type. Right. Like, some people don't want the reality of what's really, they're fearful of just being sick in general, right? So then they just don't want to know. But like, I think that people don't understand that dentistry is supposed to be preventative.
That's it.
So if you catch it before it's a thing, then you don't have to worry about the hard things.
Right.
Because we didn't even have to have this cavity. You could have had the cavity and it could have been so light I didn't even have to numb you. But you just never came.
Right.
So now it gets more serious, right? Because you waited. I don't know how you get rid of the fear, but I think you just have to, some things you just have to face. Like we get piercings, we get tattoos, we get all the things. It's no different.
And funny how we can have all those things, but then we won't go to the
We can ride motorcycles, we can get all the thrills from the jet skis, but we can't just
won't go to the dentist.
I mean, I could be a thrill. Ask your doctor a little bit, right? But, so I don't know. But I think also it starts when you're a kid.
Right.
I think that in turn, pediatric dentistry is very important because while the kid is kicking and screaming and all the things, like we have to find a better. I think they've kind of taken away the stray jackets. Right. They call them papoose, but I think it's a PTSD type thing. It's trauma.
Right.
And after we, what's the word I'm looking for? After we just like confront the trauma, then I think that will take away the anxiety. Some people just need to feel comfortable. I like to be, the funny thing about me is I don't even really like people like that. So I have
That's why you have a wonderful staff.
Yes. And, but I've also learned that, apparently I picked this job and I didn't know all the talking that I had to do with it, right? But I've learned to, I understand that it's my job and I have to be a people person. My whole goal is to treat the person, get rid of the stigma of being scared of the dentist, and just having people be happy. Like I like to, the best reward, the biggest reward is the smile that a person has when they've left and they're like, oh, that's it. You're done. Like it didn't even hurt, or it wasn't even that bad, or oh, my smile is beautiful.
Right.
And so those are the big rewards, right? And so that's really what I focus on. And I learned that people are comfortable when they're in your business.
Right.
So when I work, as long as I have a good rapport with whoever I'm working with, my dental assistant, we talk about random things. Some things, sometimes the patient may think it's inappropriate. If they want you to stop talking, then we will. But if you're still concentrated on what I'm talking about, you're not even worried about what's really going on. And I think that's what helps. And I learned that was a thing. So it allowed me to be a little bit more personable and have a little bit more fun because it calms the person.
Right.
And a lot of times there are some dentists, they're so old school with things and they don't want to be your friend.
A little rigid.
Yeah. And they don't want to be your friend. I don't necessarily want to be your friend per se, but I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to like me.
Right.
Because when you like me, then you are relaxed. And as long as you're relaxed, I'm able to do my job a little bit easier. But I don't mind taking a friend home with me.
But I think you develop, I can say this, a feeling of trust.
Yeah.
That's critically important, I think, for any doctor, really. But for dental care especially, when you develop a relationship of trust, then you're more attentive to making sure you're getting your scheduled appointments.
Right.
And you're calling when there's a real issue.
Right.
And so that's something that I can personally say that I have found at Simple Miracles, where wonderful things happen.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just ask you about the schedule. Is it still the same? Is it once a year, 6 months?
Well, technically you should come every 6 months.
Okay.
So that would make it twice a year. Nowadays, some insurances give you 3 cleanings. So there are some patients that come 3 times a year just because they don't want to waste their money on their insurance. And I totally get it. Like, but then also depending on what type of cleaning you're getting, if you need a deep cleaning, so there's maintenance with that. So then you come once every 4 months would be 3 times a year too.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just depends on where your oral health is. And yeah.
Awesome. I know you mentioned children. Population-wise, a lot of children, more adults.
At my office?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
We, more adults.
Okay.
Teenagers. But we do see children. And if there's something, if it's something that's a little bit more extreme, then I have a list of pediatric dentists that I personally trust and recommend. And so then I'll send them there for other treatment.
Okay. Awesome.
Depending on if they need nitrous and all the things.
Okay. So I'm going to address the elephant that is in many rooms.
Okay.
That big H word.
Oh.
It's called halitosis.
But is it really halitosis?
Well, that's the question. Is it halitosis? Bad breath. Some people have bad breath by nature. It could be because of something that they ate, but
or it could just be because they don't go to the dentist and they have a lot of tartar, periodontal disease.
Okay.
You know, and I normally don't smell people's breath. Like, it's not normally that bad. So when I do smell it, it's really problematic.
Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, it's periodontal disease.
Oh, okay.
And not so much halitosis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we tackle that with some aggressive dental care, I take it.
Deep cleanings. Yes.
Real deep.
Well, like, you have to get numb and we have to go in there almost like how they was getting Myra's feet.
Oh. All the way in, right?
You know, that's for y'all Martin watchers if you don't know.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's important because, you know, the dentist, and I know you are you flossing, you know, those kinds of things. You know, some people walk around with floss, you know, after every meal and things like that. So, yeah.
So, flossing is more important than brushing in some instances because it allows you to get the plaque buildup that's below the gum line.
Okay.
And the toothbrush doesn't necessarily go all the way underneath there, so that's why you need to floss.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Well, I think there's one more thing that I wanted to ask you specific to your practice. How can people, because I will tell you, Simple Miracles has worked miracles even for me personally.
She's being dramatic, guys.
I'm being dramatic.
Like little minor work.
I had minor work, but my minor work required Dr. Dicks to refer me out, only for me to have to come back and see you for something that I'm so glad I came back to see you for. And it was critical during a very critical time for me. So I know personally how Simple Miracles has made a change in my life. And there's some level of comfort even for me to now go to the dentist. And so I wanted to have you share how people can get in contact with you or your office to become new patients or...
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you can call. The number is 301-383-0958. We're open Monday through Thursday. We're open on Fridays, but it's like an admin day, so by appointment. And or you can go online to the website simplemiraclesdentistry.com. I'm sorry, and you can request an appointment. And the event that you request an appointment, somebody at the front desk will give you a call within 2 days of making that request so that we can get you scheduled. A lot of people feel like when they request the appointment, they think that they're actually making the appointment. You're not making the appointment. You're just requesting, saying what day you would like to come, and we're going to get back to you and let you know if we have that day available.
Okay.
But those are the 2 ways. We have an Instagram page. It's Simple Miracles Dent. And we have a Facebook page. Awesome.
Well, listen, I want to say personally to you, thank you so much for being my guest on Promising Me Unleashed at Home. You have probably addressed some of the things that most people panic over, and I think you've given them a level of comfort to say, hey, you know, maybe I haven't been so faithful in being diligent in getting my regular checkups, but I think you've allowed somebody that window of opportunity and hope to come in and get it done. So I want to say thank you again for being my guest, and you know, you're always more than welcome to come back to my home.
It's so pretty in here. I love a kitchen.
So we look forward to having you back again, and thank you so much for being our guest on Promising Me Unleashed at Home.